My name is Curt, and my harrowing personal story is they rearranged my Aldi.
We're rolling. We're rolling.
This is a real thing. Real thing.
None of you have the balls to stop this. Stop this.
I've got plenty of time. I have nothing else going on today.
We're in the Wedge neighborhood right now.
Okay, we are back on the Wedge Live podcast. My name is John Edwards. I am your host, and I'm joined by Curt Myran, who goes by a totally different name on social media. Can I list your Blue Sky handle?
Feel free to.
Okay, we will be doxing you for another edition of the Harrowing Personal Story series, which is turning to every episode of the podcast. I don't know if we're overplaying the joke here, but Harrowing Personal Story, Curt had his Aldi rearranged at 26th and Lyndale. This is also my Harrowing Personal Story because I also shop at that Aldi. Tell us what happened to you. What has upended your life?
So I think I actually found out they were rearranging on a Wedge Live tweet, and it really threw me off because the day you went there right before they started their rearrange, I had just gotten so used to the layout of that store where I walked in, I knew where everything I wanted to get was going to go. I had a pretty good idea of what was going to be the fastest checkout line. And then one day I walk in there and I just have no idea where stuff is, what's going on. And I feel like such an Aldi noob. And I didn't ever want to go back to that feeling again.
It's taking me like 50% longer to shop still, even several weeks later. Is it taking you a much longer time to shop?
So I go to Aldi fairly often. There's just things that don't make a ton of sense, or things I wouldn't arrange them. They seem to have gone very seasonal heavy, where there's now, like, if you go in there now, the Easter aisle is much bigger than what it feels like it used to be. There's some upside too, where I must admit that with the new layout, have you noticed that they're doing the checkout closer towards the exit doors versus where the bathrooms are?
I have noticed that they closed the far checkout, opened some different ones, and I don't know, like, did that one break? Are they using the others? Because usually most of them go unused.
I had gotten so used to, I loved going to that far one because I knew that was usually going to be, that was always open. It was always at the end of my shopping experience. I was in there yesterday and I thought when I was going to check out, it makes it much more open around the checkout area to have everything towards the front door versus towards the back end. So I will begrudgingly give Aldi credit for making that a little bit more efficient. But there's just a few things where when you go to the grocery store, I just want to, especially Aldi, and if you go after work or on a Sunday afternoon, it is packed in there and I just want to get in and get out and get home and make some food.
I'm having a hard time finding things like granola bars, the mayo, like condiments I can't find anymore. Are there any items where you just have not figured out where they are now? What sticks out to you?
So my first thing is the beans, just canned beans and dry beans. When the pandemic started, I went vegan for about 10 months and that's always stuck with me is I buy a ton of beans. And with the upcoming tariffs, I wanted to really stock up on beans. I went in there, couldn't find them. They were not where they used to be. And they used to be right next to all of the other canned vegetables. They're now in like a separate type of area where it doesn't seem like they should be. And every time I've got in there since the rearrangement, I've thought to myself, this isn't where I would put them. This can't be the most efficient thing to... This isn't where beans should go.
Yeah, it feels very unnatural, especially during the global economic crisis we're heading into. How many panic attacks have been caused by people coming in ready to stock up on a cart full of beans just to ride out this global crisis, trade crisis, and like no beans? And people are bound to think somebody came in here and bought up all the beans before I could.
I didn't even think about that angle. You're right. John, we are in the beginning of a trade war, and I want to make sure I have my cheap protein. And if I can't find it, I would imagine, somebody else maybe already bought up all of my canned beans, and what am I going to do now? I can't afford eggs anymore.
Where do you live, Curt?
So I just moved. I am. When you tweeted out the scuba crash on Lyndale and 24th the other day, I am literally right across the street from that accident.
On the Whittier side.
On the Whittier side.
Okay, so it's not far. You must experience the joy that I experienced, although you moved in after the Aldi was already here. I lived here like 5 years before the Aldi got here, and I would take the bus to shop for groceries at a different Aldi. And so the way my life has changed by being able to walk 5 minutes for groceries, I will literally sometimes shop for groceries 5 days a week because I could treat it as my cupboard. It's beautiful.
There's so many things where when I found out you were also a fellow Aldi aficionado, it was like, 'cause I go the same thing too, where I hate throwing food away. And it makes so much sense if I right now, when we finish up, I might just walk to Aldi, pick up 1 or 2 things for dinner. And it, that way I just make sure I never, nothing ever goes to waste. And it's just right there. I used to live on Eat Street, and that was 6 or 7 block walk to Aldi, which was more of a journey. Now it's 2 blocks and I can go whenever I want. Is there anything that you think is better now that they did rearrange? Or what do you like more about the new layout, if anything?
There's nothing I can think of. I like the way it was. I don't know if they needed space for more products. It seems like some of the aisles have been extended a little bit.
That actually I haven't totally noticed that, but I could see it. It does seem like they have more things in the store versus the previous layout.
Are you a fan of Aldi gear? Do you have an Aldi sweatsuit?
I never really thought about buying Aldi gear until seeing how much you and other people in Minneapolis Twitter enjoy Aldi gear. I would say I've hopped on the bandwagon, but because they have I have a bunch of Aldi socks. They did men's socks sometime within the last year, and I stocked up. High quality, very inexpensive, and it's so much easier to just have. It's kind of like going to Target, but they're just, as opposed to going. I work downtown, so the downtown Target was my main one. Hated shopping there because everything's locked up. Aldi's just this nice place where everything's out there. Touch the socks, whatever you want. It's just right there waiting for you.
We're going to take a 30-second break for me to grab some of my Aldi gear to hold up to the camera. Okay. Aldi slides. I don't know if you... Aldi slides. Man. Catch me in the laundry room of my building wearing my Aldi slides.
Those actually look like pretty legit nice, slides.
They are not that great. So when I get lazy and I wore them out of my apartment one time, outside, and after a minute of normal outside walking, there's a crease that really digs into the top of your foot. So I cannot recommend the Aldi slides. Good enough to go to the laundry room, not good enough to do any serious walking.
So at least they're functional inside of your home. You just can't leave the house with them.
It's true. I've kind of sworn off the Aldi gear a little bit. They don't usually have my size, and I can't recommend the Aldi gear.
I do, and again, you're tall. I'm a little bit more husky. I also have problems with some of just buying a generic large shirt where it's is it going to fit? Is it not going to fit right? At least with Aldi, I know if I make a mistake, I'm out $4 or $5 tops.
It's true. An endorsement for overconsumption here in fast fashion.
Yes.
With these tariffs, how do we think, and neither of us is qualified to ask or answer this question, but how do we think the tariffs are going to impact the Aldi middle aisle? It may put it out of business entirely.
That is actually a really good question, because I've got 2 cats, and I do love the kind of stuff Aldi has for cats, where I recently bought one of those little dumb cat warmer mat things. My cat loved it. But a lot of that stuff, you're right, is probably $2 or $3 from China, and if it's now going to cost $10 to bring over, that actually, right, that statement there just kind of scared me, John, because a lot of our junk stuff from Aldi might just go away.
Yeah, what would we do? So the reason you're here today is that we met at the Whittier Elementary School on caucus night. You're not in my precinct, but you were in the same building for your caucus night. How did yours go? And you brought up Aldi to me like out of the blue, so I figured you were the perfect person to talk about Aldi on the podcast with, and this having our lives disrupted by rearranging the store completely. But
so that, and again, this is something that we need to get out into the podcast world. After I went through that long registration, there was spots open next to you, and I'm like, oh, I know who that guy is. I can at least go and sit down. Someone came up to you and did hey, sir, I want to thank you for your service, Mr. Edwards. And was it Jason that was sitting next to you?
Right.
He kind of broke out laughing and did that. Oh, so now you're getting thanked for your service? It was, I've met you in public a few times. I've never heard you get the official sir title and thank you for your service.
Mr. Edwards, yeah.
It was just like a perfect, okay. But it was like, I think somebody must have referenced the podcast. And then I knew you were an Aldi fan. And I was like, I would definitely listen to one of the podcasts just about Aldi. And I'm sure you were the type of person who could talk Aldi all day.
I could. I have my little quarter holder for my Aldi quarter. It says, I'm at Aldi time. A little pun there. And I want to thank the man who approached me and was like, thank you, Mr. Edwards. I have never been accorded so much respect in my life. And if you are listening, I know you are, because you must be my biggest fan. Thank you so much. That made my caucus night. How did your caucus night go, Curt?
It went well. It was my first time attending a caucus. It was much busier than I thought it was going to be. When we broke out into our groups, it seemed like the amount of rules that the person had to explain to us seemed a bit overwhelming at first. And I think it was their first time hosting or leading, whatever it was. Once we got into our walking caucus, or walking sub-caucus, it went pretty well. But pretty good experience. It was exciting to see so many people wanting to caucus or wanting to do that for the first time. So at least it gave me a little bit of hope from a political standpoint.
Mine took forever and surprisingly competitive for both city council and the mayor's race.
Are you a delegate? Did you want to be a delegate?
I'm a city alternate and a ward delegate.
Ooh. I also am a ward delegate. We'll be seeing each other at the convention.
Hopefully no melees. Melees have come up a lot in our promotion. How much? So do you listen to the podcast?
I do.
How much did me teasing the fact that there could be a melee, you could get pepper sprayed, how much did that encourage you to show up on caucus night?
Well, I think just knowing what happened at the Ella Baker Elementary School melee?
Mm-hmm. The convention.
Just the fact that in Minneapolis local politics, you never know when a brouhaha is going to break out. It's something that makes you want to go and attend these things just to see what happens.
Yeah, come catch the fever. Come see what happens. You never know what's going to happen at the DFL convention. So apparently you have met me before at Aldi, and I don't even remember it happening. So can you tell me about that?
So I knew who you were, and I'm at Aldi, and I'm on one of my weed walks, and at the end of it, I'm shopping at Aldi to pick up what I'm going to have for dinner tonight, and I see you were actually in like the international aisle at that time, and I figure like I got to go say hi to this guy because I love the cat tour, and I said something like, didn't know local celebrities actually shopped at Aldi, or actually I didn't know I would see a local celebrity here. You were with your partner, and you both kind of turned around, and I was like, "Oh God, I am way too high to be just saying stuff to random strangers who are micro celebrities in Minneapolis."
I vaguely remember that. Yeah, that was probably a weird thing to say. That probably made me a little bit uncomfortable.
I would imagine.
Yeah, go with the Mr. Edwards next time.
The formality that, again, like, I wish, and if you do find the person who said that to you, blue sky about it, do something. Like, I need to know more about why this person thanked you for your service and called you sir. It was probably the highlight of my caucus.
Well, you can't understand why they would love me and appreciate me?
Fair enough. I do. It was just nice to see it out in public.
It was nice to see, and thank you.
Like,
and we have a cat here. Can we see your cat?
This is Stuart. You get the respect that Trump talks about. Like, he always has his stories. Oh, this person came up to me and said, sir.
Right.
We can verify that random people in Minneapolis come up to you and call you sir.
It's true. I was at caucus, and this big tough guy, tears in his eyes, came up to me, and he was like, sir. Thank you for your podcasting and your cat touring.
It's exactly what the community needs, John.
Well, Curt, I think we have reached the end. This is going to be a mini episode.
Yeah, you were not wrong about it. 20 minutes or less.
Yes. In our emails back and forth, I was like, I don't know if we can manage to talk all that much about Aldi exclusively, and so this could be very brief, and it was. Thank you, Curt Myran.
Thank you.
For joining me and telling me your harrowing personal experience. This has been the Wedge Live podcast. I'm your host, John Edwards. Thank you for listening.
This is a real thing. Real thing.
None of you have the balls to stop this. Stop this.
I've got plenty of time. I have nothing else going on today.
We're in the Wedge neighborhood right now.